Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out a total conversion by the name of Daytime Drama, and I'd try and describe what the hell is going on in a succinct fashion, but I gotta confess, I've played this through, start to finish. I'm still not entirely sure what's going on, so I'm just gonna read the forum post that describes this verbatim. You are Sanya K. Waffles, SSA of the recently defunded Boredom Die Civil Defense. Your friends are captured by terrorists who storm a local TV station. You just happen to be the only cop in the area not in on the terrorist plan. You decide to cut them down, and quickly find they're not your usual mooks. That still does not explain anything. Anything! I just feel like I'm missing out on a significant chunk of context with this one. Like should have been a short story I could read, or a comic of some sort to justify what I'm getting myself into, because this just unceremoniously dumps you into this world and says, hey, you're gonna shoot a bunch of cartoon characters, some of them sound like Butters from South Park, you might recognize a few from Gumball, even though I've never really sat down to watch Gumball, and the occasional smattering of memes, and I don't even know as a tale. That's a fucking tale, isn't it? Anyway, let's put all that stuff to one side for a moment and just get down to the real meat and potatoes of Daytime Drama. What are you going to be getting up to on a level-by-level basis? Well, for the most part, you'll be doing exactly what you see here, which is a whole bunch of cartoon slaughter. That, however, is coupled with a fairly interesting style of level design, one that reminds me quite a lot of Duke 3D, especially with the open style of level exploration, and even down to the choice of locations themselves, even if these are a hell of a lot more cartoony than anything you'll see in Duke 3D. Another shared aspect is that you'll probably miss out on a whole bunch of stuff if you make a beeline directly for a level's exit. This opening level is a good example of that. There's all sorts of nooks and crannies and secrets for you to discover if you feel like poking your nose around. To that end, most levels tend to contain the odd keycard door that isn't strictly necessary for progression, sparking that little thought that maybe you should do a bit of old-fashioned wall humping and see what you can find. In this particular level, if you head back into the store that you started in, you'll notice a green keycard door that you can access, and you'll also hear someone behind the walls. And if you wall hump, you'll discover Ice Bear. Ice Bear is a recurring character in most of the maps here of Daytime Drama, and seeking him out is usually a good idea if you want to find some extra supplies. He's either usually hidden amongst those supplies, or he'll point you in the direction of them. In this particular situation, Ice Bear can provide you with a pack of sports drink, which is actually one of the medical items of Daytime Drama, something that you can use to refill your health back to 100%. You'll find that the items that you can use in Daytime Drama do take a variety of interesting forms. One particular item that gave me a bit of a chuckle when I used it was the broken Jpeg artifact, and when it turned me invisible, it finally clicked. I have to admit, it took me a shamefully long time to figure out what these enemies actually replaced in terms of Doom characters. The Sweet Bros here, one half of Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff. Oh my god, I just realized. That is an old as ball meme. Those essentially replace Pinkies. You've got puking Garfields, at least I think that's what they are. They essentially replace the Imps, and then you have these things. I do not know what these are. I have no idea what they are. Chibi Ghosts, screw it. They're lost souls. That should be obvious. And these demonic pieces of crap, most horrific thing in the entire mod, they replace Cacodemons and Nightmare Fuel. Complete and utter nightmare fuel. Just the noise they make. Another mildly unsettling character would be these things. Some kind of mutated cat creature. Pretty sure they replaced Revenants. The only kicker is, in this, if you don't completely obliterate them, they do in fact resurrect and come back. Something that surprised me quite a lot the first time. And, oh god, the dolphins are back. Oh, Jesus Christ. In terms of the weaponry you'll be using here, things don't really get that interesting until you get the Desperium rifle here, which is pretty much a plasma gun. It's pretty much a plasma gun with a nerf on it, because to begin with, it overheats quite quickly if you keep up constant fire, so you have to go seek out an add-on to it to actually make it a little bit more effective, which, you know, is an interesting quirk. But if we're going to get down to brass tacks on that quirk, all you've really done is give me a less useful plasma gun, which is not that fantastic. What does work, however, is the fact that the rocket launcher here can receive a heat-seeking add-on, which makes it a lot more fire and forget instead of something where you have to lead your shots. See, that's a better way round of doing it, something that adds to the pre-existing usefulness rather than making it not as useful to begin with. As for what's happening in this level, brainwash ponies. That's all I'm giving you. As for the most interesting weapon in the arsenal here, I'd say that the Troll Blood device certainly fits the bill. This is a clear callback to the Duke 3D Shrink Ray, only in this case you have tiny trollified versions of your enemies to squish underfoot, and believe it or not, it does actually feature a secondary fire mode, one that allows you to expand your enemies, causing them to explode in what I have to admit is a kind of satisfying fashion. Bizarrely, the third fire mode cocoons your enemies. Not so much a fan of that one. It's very lackluster in comparison to crushing or exploding your enemies with the first two fire modes, so yeah, I'd rather stick with those. But even then, up against tankier enemies such as the Mancubus replacement here, and no, I have no idea what it's supposed to be from, you'll find that they tend to shrug off a lot of your attempts to either crush or explode them. Even when you finally do bring them down, you'll find that the effect is very unsatisfying. Certainly a missed opportunity there. As for what I consider to be the most enjoyable aspect of playing daytime drama, I'd say it certainly comes down to the explorable nature of most of the levels here. Like I said at the start, you'll easily be able to just rush your way through a level if you choose to, but if you do that, you'll get the unmistakable feeling that you're missing out on a lot of strange and interesting stuff. One of the most extreme examples of this that I can think of occurs in Map 7, and I'm not entirely sure whether this was intentional or not, but from the beginning of the level, which was right where I was there, you can just hop this gap and exit. No, really, you can leave. You can just go straight out that door and into the next level if you choose to, and completely miss on all of the exploration and all of the secrets and all of the things that you can do in this particular map. Now, I'm tempted to say that it's intentional because there's an item in this mod which gives you the ability to jump even higher than you normally would, so I just think it's interesting that the author would just say, you know what, feel free to skip. Feel free to miss this level if you're getting, a little bored and you just want to get on with it, but it's such a shame because this is actually one of the more fun maps to play through. There's lots of interesting little sections, such as the subway here that leads to a rift where all of these strange, retarded cartoon animals are coming from. And there's a bank that you can raid for extra stuff and supplies, and it's a bold move. A bold move indeed. Adding yet another entry to the many Duke Nukem 3D references already present here in daytime drama, we also have a level set in a stadium. Not a football stadium, no, and we're not fighting the Cycloid Emperor, but we are in a baseball stadium, and we are fighting Monokuma from the Danganronpa series. Why? Hell if I know. That's pretty much my attitude to most of daytime drama at this point. If you can point at any aspect and ask me, why is this? Why is that? Why is any of this a thing? And I'm just gonna have to shrug. Just say, 'cause it is. At the very least, it's enjoyable. And that's the crux of it, really. Despite my complete and utter bafflement at most of the stuff in here, getting the distinct feeling that there's a lot of in-jokes going on just flying over my head, I still, at the heart of it, am having fun with this. Are there a few things that daytime drama could stand to do better? Oh yeah, sure, plenty of things. The weapons, for one, could stand to be a heck of a lot more interesting than they currently are. I mean, the Troll Blood device is a good start, but looking at the rest of it, I mean, pistol, shotgun, chain gun, rocket launcher, and a thinly disguised plasma gun, yeah, you're not really rocking the boat. You're not really pushing it out there. And considering the wackiness of the world and whatever the hell is going on in the story, you could stand to be a heck of a lot more creative on that front. Make it stand out. Sky's the limit. Another aspect of this mod where there's certainly room for improvement would be in the world building and storytelling department. Now, I know most total conversions don't really need to go all that in-depth on the story. I mean, when it comes down to it, you just need a good reason for shooting the enemies and making it through a level. And even on that front, I get a little confused in regards to daytime drama. At most, I can refer back to that thing I read at the start where my buddies have been taken hostage at a TV station, the very one that I'm fighting through right now, in fact. But the truth is, you only really see these buddies once, and that's during this level when you rescue them, and then never again. And it's confusing to me considering the fact that you can have these full-on conversations with Ice Bear, an NPC that is kind of secondary to everything going on. As it currently stands, playing through daytime drama for me feels like I'm playing through an overly elaborate shitpost, and maybe that's the intent. Maybe that's the intent, but sometimes it's nice to be let in on the joke. So, would I recommend daytime drama? Yeah, sure. Perfectly enjoyable. Doubly so if you enjoy being confused at cartoons that you don't watch, which coincidentally are going to make you feel old. Or, on the flip side, maybe you do recognize all this stuff and feel like killing your favorite cartoon characters, in which case, daytime drama provides. I will, however, reserve one final criticism for this section, and that is the fact that this boss refused to kick the bucket. I don't know if it's because something I did, something I triggered, whether the game is punishing me for that one time I used the resurrect command halfway through the campaign because I couldn't be bothered playing from the start because I'm too much of an idiot to use quick save sometimes, but still, this bitch refuses to die. So yeah, you should probably be aware of that one, but fingers crossed that's something that doesn't happen to you during your particular playthrough. And even then, this is just a very small chunk of daytime drama, and for the vast majority of it, I had a perfectly okay time, even without the closure of being able to make this boss die. In any case, if you're interested in seeing if you can succeed where I have pitifully failed, you can find the download link for daytime drama in the description below. While I'm at it, I'd like to give a great big thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for helping to make content like this possible. If you're interested in supporting the channel yourself, you can find a link to my Patreon page also in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments, and feel free to suggest any mods you'd like to see me cover in future episodes of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.